Good morning, my dear students. My name is Twayna. I am currently available at the Hamlet Tuition Center, Brahmatul, Kathmandu, and the Kumudini Secondary School, Kalimati, Kathmandu. My dear students of grade 10, this is your science class, and in your science class we have been studying. We are going to start a new lesson today: nervous system and glandular system. Let us go to nervous system first. Well, nervous system, you all know it very well. It is a particular system which makes us different from plants, or makes animals different from plants. Nervous system is the system that coordinates immediate reaction. If you beat a plant, does it show immediate reaction? No, it doesn't. But if you beat an animal, it will show an immediate reaction. Just like that, human also shows an immediate reaction. Okay, so nervous system is the system of the body that coordinates movement of our body, or movement of different parts of our body, and our sensation. How do we sense? Yes, like the sensation of vision. We see things, we can smell things, we can tell the taste of things. Okay, we can touch, we can feel by touching objects. Yes, we can feel hot, we do feel cold. All of these are the sensations. And then intelligence. Human is the most intelligent animal on the planet. They say so, yes. Okay, so the intelligence, or the thinking process, analyzing information, deciding what is the best course of action. Okay, all of these things come into intelligence. And reaction to various situations, like if we feel cold, what should we do? If we feel cold, either we should lit fire or we should wear warm clothes. If we feel hot, we go to shade. If we see a tiger or some carnivorous man-eater, then we run away from that situation. Like that, how we react to various situations. Okay, all of these things are actually coordinated by our nervous system. Let's see it once again. What are they? Movement of our body, or movement of different parts of our body, sensation, intelligence, and reaction to various situations. Yes. Okay, nervous system, it is said to be present in all animals, but you should know that it is present only from the phylum Platyhelminthes and higher. Below the phylum Platyhelminthes, nervous system are not present. Like in amoeba, okay, or phylum Protozoa, phylum Porifera, and Coelenterata, they do not have nervous system. They have sensitive tissues, but they do not have nervous system. The rudimentary form of nervous system is found in Platyhelminthes, and as you go to higher phylum, it is more and more developed, and it is the most developed in human beings. Well, you can see the diagram. It shows, this diagram shows the brain, the midbrain or brainstem, and the spinal cord. Yes, and from brain and spinal cord you can see different nerves, like just like wires, different nerves are coming out, you can see. And in this diagram also you can see the same. Yes, brain and spinal cord, and from brain and spinal cord different various numbers of nerves are coming out, and each nerves are supplying different parts of our body. Well, that's why all part of your body is coordinated by the brain. Okay, the signal sent by brain reaches to spinal cord. Spinal cord passes the signal to the nerves take the signal to our muscles, and that's why we can move our muscles. If the particular nerve is broken, if a particular nerve is cut down, then your muscles, that part of muscles will not get any command from the brain, and that part of muscles will not move. Not just move, but they do not feel any pain as well. They do not feel any touch. They feel nothing. Neither they feel nor they move if they are severed from our nervous system. Okay, any confusion up here? I hope no confusion. Say it once again. Nervous system is the system of the body that coordinates movement, sensation, intelligence and reaction to various situations. Nervous system is present in phylum Platyhelminthes and higher. However, it is the most developed in human beings. Let us go to next slide. Well, this diagram shows you the parts of our nervous system. Our nervous system is very extensive system that extends throughout our body. Okay, and it can be divided into three main parts. These are central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and autonomous nervous system. In this diagram you can see the parts of nervous system that lies in exact the central part of body or axis of the body. Yes, the part of nervous system that lies at the center of our body are called central nervous system. This part is called central nervous system because it acts as the headquarter of our nervous system of our body. This is the headquarter of our body and the central body of our nervous system. Okay, not because it lies in the central part, but because it is central to the functioning of whole nervous system. That is why it is called central nervous system. And central nervous system contains the brain and the spinal cord. Brain and the spinal cord, they are the central nervous system. And you can see other nerves, these nerves that come out of the brain and spinal cord, these nerves, they are called peripheral nervous system. Peripheral means sideways. Okay, you can see they originate from center but they move sidewise. Okay, that is why they are called peripheral nervous system. Now autonomic nervous system is the specific parts of central nervous system and peripheral nervous system that are associated with automatic control of several functions of our body in our body. Okay, so autonomic nervous system is actually a branch of our nervous system instead of parts. Okay, actually our nervous system has only two parts, central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, whereas autonomic nervous system or autonomous nervous system, it is a special branch of our nervous system. Understood? If you are asked what are the parts of nervous system, then your answer should be central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Let us go to next slide. Okay, so we are going to study in detail about central nervous system. The part of nervous system that receives and processes the information and generates command impulse are called central nervous system. It comprises of brain and spinal cord. Well, I hope you do understand this statement. Central nervous system is a part of our nervous system which actually receives the information from outside, receives the information about the changes in environment and other things, analyze that information, okay, and decides what should be done, and according to the decision it generates command. Yes, that's why it is called central nervous system. Okay, that's why it is called central nervous system. It receives whatever is happening outside. Okay, like I can see it is raining outside. Yes, I can see it is raining outside. You might say that our eyes will see the raining, but notice our eyes are only windows. Yes, our eyes are only windows. Information from eyes are received by brain. Yes, brain analyzes the image received from the eyes. Okay, and that image the brain will detect it as rain, And then brain also processes that information. What should be done when it is raining? What do I have to do if it is raining? Like if you are a farmer, your brain will think that I must go to the field and tend to my plants. Yes, or you might your brain might decide that it is good time for planting rice. Or if you are simply walking on the road, your brain might decide that I need to take out my umbrella and I need to use it. Or in some cases, in some persons, their brain might think that wow, it's raining, really, I want to enjoy the rain, and they go on soaking in the rain. Yes, so how you process it, that totally depends on your brain, how you process it. And then what should you do in that situation, that is also decided by your brain. And as per that decision, your brain creates a command, and that command is followed by all parts of your body, be it your hands or legs or whatever. Okay, your brain gives a command and your body parts follow that command. Like if your brain tells you to run toward the shelter, then your legs will carry you. Your legs will start to move and you will start to run toward the shelter, isn't it? That's why it is called central nervous system. Okay, now you can also see different parts of our brain. The biggest part of our brain, it is called cerebrum. Yes, the biggest part is called cerebrum. Okay, and the smaller part of brain, this here you can see, this part is known as cerebellum. Okay, this part of brain, it is known as cerebellum. And between the cerebrum and cerebellum there is brain stem. Yes, this part is brain stem, and this part it is called midbrain, the middle part of brain. And midbrain contains several parts, like these are the ventrices, and here it is thalamus, below thalamus is hypothalamus, and below hypothalamus is the pituitary gland. So pituitary gland is also a part of our brain itself. Okay, okay, so these are the parts of our brain, and below the brain stem, the brain stem continues as the spinal cord. Okay, well, we will discuss about that in detail. Let us go to next slide. Okay, now this is an important part. Our brain and spinal cord, they are extremely delicate organs. Our brain and spinal cord are extremely delicate organs. They are very soft. They can easily be damaged, and if they are damaged, then your whole body might not function. Like if your brain is damaged at the visual center, then you cannot see anything. If your brain is damaged at the olfactory center, then you cannot feel any smell and taste. Okay, if your brain is damaged at motor part, then you cannot move any part of your body. Your whole body will be paralyzed. Yes, or if your intelligence part is damaged, then your intelligence would be lost. You will be slow-minded. Yes, so if any part of your brain is damaged, that always has severe consequences. And your brain is very delicate organ. It is very soft. It easily gets damaged. It is very soft. That is why nature has to protect the brain and spinal cord. Nature has to protect the brain and spinal cord. And how does it do that? How does the nature do that? Let us study that. Okay, first of all, you can see brain and spinal cord are protected by bony covers, as the brain is located in cranial cavity inside the skull, and the skull protects the brain from external physical injury. Not just brain, well, spinal cord is also protected by the bone. Okay, I forgot to write about spinal cord. Spinal cord is situated inside the vertebral column. Vertebral column is also the bone, isn't it? So it also protects our spinal cord. Yes, okay, let us see in this diagram. You can see here, this is the bone. Yes, this is the bone of our skull, and the brain is completely enclosed inside the skull, and the chamber inside the skull in which bone is located, it is also called cranium. Okay, the chamber inside the skull in which our brain is located is called cranium. Okay, and there is only one opening in the cranium, and through that opening spinal cord emerges out, and the spinal cord is immediately covered by the vertebral column. You can see these are the bones of vertebral column. Any confusion? So I hope you got the first point. Yes, first point is not so difficult. Brain and spinal cord are extremely delicate organs. They are protected by bony covers, as the brain is located in cranial cavity inside the skull, so the skull protects the brain from external physical injury. Similarly, spinal cord is situated inside the vertebral column. Okay, that is the first point. Now the second mechanism of protection of our brain is our brain and spinal cord. Okay, our brain and spinal cord are covered by 3 layers of plastic-like membrane. Okay, first of all, you look at this diagram once again. This is brain, and you can see this pink color membrane. Okay, this is like a plastic. It is very hard and tough. Okay, this membrane is very hard and tough, and you can see this membrane, it continues throughout the surface of brain and spinal cord as well. Okay, this is the first membrane. Okay, and you can see the second membrane here, this one. This is the second membrane. Okay, and here this is the third membrane. See, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 plastic-like membranes that covers our brain and spinal cord. These plastic-like membranes, they are called meninges. And the first, okay, meninges. You ask the spelling of meninges, meninges, and you might have heard this word as meningitis. Have you heard the word meningitis? Well, meningitis is actually the infection of meninges. Okay, many people think that meningitis is the infection of brain, but meningitis is the infection of meninges. Okay, the layers, the membrane that covers our brain. Okay, and meninges, they act as blood-brain barrier. That means they don't allow anything from blood to enter the brain, because brain is in danger from outside world, definitely, but it is also in danger from inside world. Blood carries many things, including bacteria, viruses, and toxic chemicals or poisonous substances. Blood carries many things, and many enzymes are also present in blood. If blood gets inside our brain, then these materials from blood, these harmful materials from blood, they can damage our brain as well. Okay, that is why there is extensive network of blood vessels in the meninges. Okay, that draws nutrient from blood and supply that to our brain. But blood vessels themselves do not enter the brain. So here the meninges, they act as blood-brain barrier, a barrier between blood and brain. So the brain is protected from external injury by skull and internal injury by meninges. Okay, and between any 2 layer of meninges, you can see it is filled with liquid. Between any 2 layer of meninges, it is filled with liquid, and that liquid is known as cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, it is called cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, so in short, it is also called CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. The cerebrospinal fluid, it also protects our blood by absorbing shock. They act as shock absorber. Yes, even if you receive very heavy blow from outside, because of that blow, even if your skull gets cracked, that shock is absorbed by this liquid, so that the shock will not reach the brain. Okay, so the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, also protects our brain from the shock, physical shock or external injury. Okay, so that is the second mechanism of protection of our brain and spinal cord. Let us see that. The brain and spinal cord are covered by 3 layers of plastic-like membranes called meninges. The layers are called dura mater, arachnoid mater, and pia mater. It forms blood-brain barrier, so chemical agents or germs cannot transfer from blood into brain. You can see the layers, the diagram of meninges in this diagram also. The outermost layer is skin of scalp. Yes, and the second layer is periosteum. Periosteum is also a very hard layer that covers the bone. Periosteum is very hard and tough layer that covers the bone, and you can see this is bone of skull. Yes, and then periosteum, below periosteum, the first and outermost layer of meninges, that is called dura mater, and second layer is arachnoid mater, and third layer is pia mater. Okay, and you can see blood vessels are present in these spaces. Yes, and this is the brain itself. Okay, so that was the second mechanism of protection of our brain. Now come to third mechanism. The space between arachnoid matter and pia mater is called subarachnoid space. You can see pia mater is the innermost layer and arachnoid matter is the second layer. Between these two layers, between pia mater and arachnoid matter, there is vast space, and the space is filled with a fluid. That fluid is called cerebrospinal fluid or CSF. Here you can see this this water-like thing. You can see it is actually the cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. Okay, now let's see. This space is filled with liquid called cerebrospinal fluid. The CS fluid absorbs physical shock and protects the brain. Okay, that much is about the protection of our brain. Is there any confusion? Okay, in our today's class we discussed at first about the introduction of nervous system, and then we went to the parts of our nervous system. We still haven't gone into the detail of parts of our nervous system. That we'll do in our next class. And then we discussed about the protection of our brain and spinal cord. Okay, today we'll do that much only. Okay, so we'll see you in our next class. Until then, I'd like to wrap my class right here. Okay, thank you class. We'll see you in our next class. Thank you very much.